I'm sure you've been waiting a while for this review. But continuing my Superman movie reviews, this is obviously Superman 2, and in this review I'm going to combine the two of the original theatrical cut and the Richard Donner cut. I'm going to talk about the Richard Donner cut first, and a little bit of the story behind it as well. Basically, what happened was when Superman was originally conceived as a movie project, the Salkinds intended to film both Superman 1 and 2 back to back and simultaneously. So, but obviously they didn't realise the budget problems that they would run into during the filming. So it got to a point where they were heavily overdue, they were heavily over budget. So even though most of Superman 2 had been shot, the decision was made to just focus on the first movie and get it out in cinemas. And then, of course, finish the work on Superman 2 afterwards. But unfortunately, when the first Superman movie came out and everyone was ready to go back to production, Richard Donner was booted off the project and they brought in another director by the name of Richard Lester. And we're going to get more to his train wreck in Superman 3. But with Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, it picks off straight away from where the first one left off and explains a lot of the situations. But then, of course, Lois starts suspecting that Clark might be Superman after reading in the newspaper and seeing a photo of Superman with his arms folded, looks over at Clark in the exact same pose, and then starts drawing a pair of glasses on, and then starts putting his business suit on him and the hat, and then starts confronting Clark about it. And of course, Clark tries to act like, he's like, Lois, you think I'm Superman? And Lois is just like willing to bet my life on it. So she ends up jumping out the window. So Clark has to dash out so no one sees him, and then just do a few minor things with his powers to save her. And then he appears back at the top window as if nothing's happened. So, and then as a result, Lois ends up passing out. But and then from there they end up posing as a honeymoon couple, and due to a scene that is only revealed in the screen test, that is only shown from Margot Kidder's screen test, sorry, um, Clark is revealed to be Superman and the secret's out. And also, right at the beginning of this movie, you finally get to see the three Kryptonians which were sent off in the Phantom Zone, which was General Zod, Non, and Ursa, all set free. And Terrence Stamp does a magnificent job as General Zod in this movie. In fact, you still have Lex Luthor in there, but he is not the main villain in this one. So Superman is given actually someone to fight, which is a fantastic, action sequence to see near the end of the movie. And the Richard Donner cut is really worth checking out if you're a die-hard fan and you want to see like a more serious tone. And in my opinion, I'm already going to say this, I do prefer the Richard Donner cut to the theatrical one, but that's just me. And it's also interesting to note that if you do watch the Richard Donner cut, it kind of makes events that happened in Superman Returns null and void, and it cocks up the continuity quite a lot. But anyway, as a final verdict on Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's just slightly off from being perfect due to the fact it's sadly not a finished film. It's just it's Superman 2 as it was originally intended to be filmed. But the result of it is really staggering. And of course, you get a big surprise with a certain actor coming back from the grave as well to reprise his role, which I'm not going to give away too much. Anyway, onto the theatrical cut. As I've said with this, they brought in another director, so therefore a lot of scenes had to be reshot or put in afresh. So like they had to put in a new opening sequence to explain how the three Kryptonian villains got set free, and then of course you have the dilemma of they go more into it in their honeymoon trip when they're posing as a honeymoon couple, um, where Clark slash Superman makes a decision to be with one particular person to forsake helping all others. But I won't go on too much about how that actually happens, of course. And as well, you know, when General Zod comes to town, Clark thinks, I've made the wrong decision. I need to try and figure out a way of getting back to, helping people. And I will admit, the scenes that are in Superman 2, it still does make a good movie, but there's a lot more comedic moments in it that probably weren't needed, and it does make it a little campy and cheesy. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, that's going to about do it for this review, and as a final result, I am going to give Superman 2 the theatrical cut an 8 out of 10. So, all I've got to say now is thanks for watching, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment below and tell me what your favourite cut of Superman 2 is, whether it's the Richard Donner cut or the theatrical one, and I shall see you guys on the next one.